Hello and welcome back to the channel, guys. If you're new here, my name is Arif and I'm a first year student at ESSEC Business School enrolled in the Grande Ecole MIM program. And in today's video, we're gonna have a look at all the expenses that you will have while you study in France. So without wasting any further time, let's jump right into the video. So basically, I've split all the expenses into 4 different categories. First, your accommodation or your rent. Second, your food and your groceries. Third, your transportation costs, and fourth, the miscellaneous category. So the very first and the major chunk of your living expenses would be your rent. Here at the ESSEC residence, I pay about 600 in rent. If you live close to the school or if you want a place close to the city center, the rent can go higher up to 800 or even 1000 euros. For us, of course, we are eligible to get the subsidiary cap from the French government, so I get around 200 euros back. So effectively, I pay around 400 euros. So for the accommodation side, I can say that you can expect costs to be around 400 to 600 euros a month. Now the second portion of your living expenses would be your food and your grocery. Now the expenses for this category will largely depend upon your eating habit. Do you like to order in food from Uber Eats or do you like to get takeaways from restaurants? If you do that, then obviously your expenses will be on the higher side. For the 4 months that I have been here, I have cooked almost 95% of my meals here at the residence and I have ordered from Uber Eats only around 4 times. So yeah, when it comes to groceries, you can expect the amount to be around 30 to 50 euros a week. So let's say 150 to 200 euros a month. Now let's assume that you are ordering food from Uber Eats or getting takeaways from restaurants once a week. So average cost of a meal outside is around 10 to 15 euros. So let's keep that amount to 50 euros a month. Now when it comes to transport, the best option for us students who are less than 26 years old is the Imagine Our Student Pass, which costs about 350 euros a year. The benefit of this Imagine Our Student Pass is that you get unlimited travel in all the metros, the trams, the buses, basically all the public transport there is in the Ile-de-France region. Just to give you a comparison with a normal paper ticket, a return trip from Paris to my residence costs about 14 euros. And the Imagine Our Student Pass, which is 350 euros, boils down to around 30 euros a month. So you can see how cheap it turns out to be. Now let's come to the fourth category, which is the miscellaneous category, where you will have all the different expenses such as your phone bill, your internet connection, if you're partying out, going to clubs in the weekend, stuff like that. So when it comes to the network providers, almost all of them have the same pricing and you can get a decent pack with a decent amount of internet at around 10 to 15 euros a month. I personally have hopped between 10 euros a month and 15 euros a month depending upon the amount of data I require. Next is the Wi-Fi connection. So in our residence, the internet service provider is Wi-First, which has basically 2 packages, a 15 euro package and a 20 euro package. Now there are the other expenses which will totally depend upon your lifestyle or your preferences. If you like to party out and go to clubs every other weekend to have a drink or something, then probably it will cost you 20 to 30 euros a visit. If you're an avid shopper and you like to buy stuff from Amazon or any other e-commerce website, then that. Just to keep a safe budget, let's assume that this miscellaneous category will cost you around 100 euros a month. Now after this, there is just one more thing that I think you should keep in mind. When you first arrive in France, you will definitely have some one-time expenses. For example, buying a blender from Amazon because you didn't bring one from home. Or buying a charger from Amazon because your dumbass brain forgot it on the airplane. Or maybe ordering a music instrument because why not? So keeping all of this in mind, I would say that for the first month, expect that you will end up spending around 1200 to 1300 euros. And then after your first month and all these one-time expenses, you can easily manage in around 700 to 800 euros a month. Now apart from this theoretical estimate, let me actually show you my expenses since I've arrived in France and we can then compare it with the estimate. Now I've been tracking all my expenses since the day I've arrived in an app called Notion, which by the way, I'm going to be making a video on it soon. As you can see, for the first month, I basically arrived on the 27th of September, so it was just 3-4 days in September, but obviously I had to incur some expenses. So first of all, the first time payment for the Wi-Fi, the SIM card, I did not have the Imagine Our Pass at that time, so the train tickets, I bought a bundle, so it costs me less. Then the groceries, Uber from the airport. So let's just take into consideration, and also the Imagine Our Pass, the 350 euros for the one-time payment. Now let's just directly take into account the October and the September month together because that was basically my first month. So now when we come to the October month, you can see that my total expenses for the whole month was around 1000 euros and for September it was around 500. So you can see that I estimated that for the first month your costs would be around 1300 euros and I end up spending around 1500 euros. I guess the major part of it was because I actually bought a monitor because that was essential for my workflow. And apart from that, obviously I showed you that I had to buy the charger, the blender, I bought a music instrument, I bought some sports equipment from Decathlon. So that is why for the first month my expenses were around 1500 euros. As for the food category, I estimated that it would be around 30 to 50 euros a week, so around 150 euros a month on the lower side. So yeah, as you can see, for the October month, I actually did only spend 150 euros. So that's almost exactly as the estimate. I did have some lunches outside, some takeaways, but yeah, mostly the expense was only around 150 euros. So now when we come to the next month, the November, you can see that I actually spent quite less than the previous month. The major expense was basically the rent. There is also, when you open a bank account in France as a student, so you get around 80 euros back. So that was that also contributed towards less spending. And then yeah, I also spent 60 euros on a Black Friday sale. So apart from that, the food, groceries is there, the phone and the Wi-Fi connection is there. I reduced my phone connection from 15 euros to 10 euros a month, and then Wi-Fi it's 15, the rent my 595 euros minus the 208 CAF that I get. So I spent only 570 euros in the month of November. Then in December, yes, my expenses went up till 890 euros almost. And the reason for that, I guess, would be that I took a trip to Strasbourg and Colmar during the Christmas, and then I also went to Amsterdam to visit my family. So total, I think this was 290, 300 euros. So that was a major expense apart from obviously the rent. And apart from that, you can see it was just the same thing, almost the food, the phone connection, the Wi-Fi, the internet. As I was traveling, I didn't have Wi-Fi, I was traveling obviously, so I changed again my plan from 10 euros to 15 euros so I could get more data across Europe. So now so far in January, you can see that I've spent around 630 euros, and that's almost on the average side that I was expecting. It's basically the same. The rent, I got a haircut after 4 months in France, damn expensive. Yeah, so winter sale is going on, so I bought some stuff because of that. And then yeah, the same amount, the groceries, your miscellaneous expenses, and then your internet and your phone connection. So as you can see, I think in the first month I was over my budget. I spent around 1500 euros, but then after that I've spent around 570, 882, 632. So in total for the 4 months that I have been here, I've spent around 3600 euros as of now. And for the estimate that I just gave you guys, 1200 for the first month, and then 800 for the next average, I can say 700, 800 you can manage. So this comes to around 3600 euros. So yeah, as you can see, the actual estimate, the actual living expenses is almost is exactly the same as the estimate. So yeah, this is the amount that you can expect to spend in France as a student. And yeah, I hope you got something out of this video, and if you like the video, do make sure to subscribe to the channel and also like the video and share it with your friends who are planning to go to France. You can also follow me on my Instagram. I'll link it in the description, and you can also see a pop-up on the screen now. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.